On a chilly December night, a week before Christmas, my family's annual holiday gathering at our Hamptons summer house in New York was underway. Typically, the Hamptons remained serene during this season, with many estates owned by affluent individuals who possessed multiple residences across the country. My dad and I arrived early, taking advantage of the quietude before the rest of the family joined us. My mom and sister were due to arrive the following weekend, still occupied with work. My dad, enjoying his retirement, and I, on winter break from school, sought to relish the tranquility of the Hamptons house. Nestled in a quiet, dead-end road, our abode offered individual bedrooms for each family member. As my dad attended to the necessary chores, heating, water, and other preparations after months of vacancy, I unpacked my PS3, ready to spend the first day playing video games. That night, a significant snowstorm blanketed the landscape, prompting our decision to arrive early and avoid navigating the treacherous road conditions post-storm. The next morning, waking to the crisp winter air, my dad inquired about the snowman in the backyard. Perplexed, I glanced out to find a freshly built snowman, complete with stick arms, carved eyes, and a smiling face, seemingly appearing overnight. Assuming it was a harmless prank by neighboring kids, my dad and I dismissed it. However, the following night marked an ominous turn of events, suddenly awakened by a distinct thump on my window. I cowered under the blankets, fearing an intruder. After minutes of apprehension, curiosity got the better of me. Peeking out, I was startled to find another snowman, this one with an angry frown, positioned right outside my window. Terrified, I called for my dad, who shared my unease upon witnessing the eerie snowman. Determined to address the situation, my dad planned to speak to the neighbors the next morning. However, his efforts yielded no results, as the neighboring house appeared vacant, offering no explanation for the mysterious snowman. Days passed without incident until Christmas Eve night, when our extended family gathered in the living room. A knock on the front door, rather than the doorbell, heightened our anxiety, as we weren't expecting any additional guests. My dad approached the door, questioning the visitor, who pleaded for help, claiming to have no one to spend Christmas with. With no peephole or windows on the door, we couldn't identify the person on the other side. Concerned for our safety, my dad sternly requested the stranger to leave, threatening to call the police. Connecting the dots between the unsettling snowmen and the mysterious visitor, we suspected a sinister connection. On Christmas morning, a note taped to our front door revealed the truth. In the note, the writer claimed to have built the snowmen for the boy in the house, expressing a desire for a bit of holiday fun and lamenting the lack of companionship. The unsettling note hinted at mental instability or illness, making it clear that the individual responsible was someone none of us wanted to encounter. A few years back, my brother Jake and I invested in a cozy little house, making it our joint abode. The inaugural year in our new dwelling was marked by hosting a Christmas gathering, an attempt to showcase our humble abode to family members who hadn't convened in quite some time. Our intimate family consisted of our parents, aunt, uncle, cousin, sister, and her 2 young nephews. The preparations for the festive celebration commenced with our sister and her family arriving first, equipped with culinary skills to assist in the kitchen. Their dog, Mika, tagged along for the holiday adventure. Given the 2-hour journey from their residence, they decided to spend the night at our place. The rest of our family lived within an hour's distance, ensuring they wouldn't be joining us in the overnight stay. Not that our quaint house had much space for additional guests. During our Christmas dinner, the conversation took an unexpected turn towards the recent murders in our area. Bodies had been discovered in the local woods, casting a brief shadow over the holiday cheer. Sensing the discomfort, our mom and sister swiftly redirected the discussion for the sake of the festivities and the children. Following the sumptuous dinner, we retreated to the living room, indulging in a Christmas movie with a background of laughter and merriment. As the night progressed, family members gradually bid their farewells, leaving only Jake and me, along with my sister, her husband, and their children. The kids, weary from the day's excitement, retired to bed early while the four of us continued to savor the holiday spirit with a few more glasses of wine. Beyond 10 p.m., my girlfriend made a surprise visit, her family having dispersed for the night. As Christmas night unfolded, we eventually retired to bed, bidding farewell to the joyous celebrations. The serenity of the night was abruptly shattered when my girlfriend shook me awake in the darkened room. Groggily glancing at the clock, I noted it was past 2 a.m. In a hushed tone, she implored me to listen. Straining my ears, I heard Mika's low growls emanating from the hallway. Overcoming my drowsiness, I ventured into the hall to investigate. To my astonishment, the back door of our house stood wide open, allowing a chilling breeze to permeate the room. Mika, fixated on the doorway, heightened my sense of unease. Concerned, I checked the surroundings, and that's when I heard Jake's voice calling my name from the darkness outside. His distant calls suggested he was somewhere in the woods, sparking worry that he might be in trouble or in need of assistance. Returning to my room, I briefed my girlfriend, swiftly donning shoes and a coat. Armed with a flashlight, I stepped outside, revealing a light dusting of snow on the ground and faint footprints leading from the back door toward the woods. Yelling Jake's name, I received responses that confirmed he was indeed in the woods. However, as I ventured deeper, his footprints gradually faded, rendering them nearly impossible to follow. The woods, veiled in darkness, instilled a sense of discomfort, dissuading me from venturing too far. Attempting to reach Jake on his phone proved futile, prompting me to press on cautiously. Yet, the calls from Jake ceased, and an eerie silence enveloped the woods, devoid of any sound save for the cold breeze. Suddenly, my phone rang, offering a glimmer of hope. It was my girlfriend. To my bewilderment, she informed me that Jake was in his bedroom at that very moment. The revelation clashed with the reality of hearing Jake's voice in the woods. Disturbed and disoriented, I asked her to confirm if my sister's husband was still on one of the pull-out couches. After a brief check, she affirmed his presence. A sudden wave of unease swept over me, as if an unseen presence lurked in the woods, ready to pounce from any direction. Swiftly retracing my steps, I sprinted back toward the backyard light visible through the trees. Returning to the safety of our house, I found everyone awake, their faces etched with horror as I recounted Mika's growls, the open back door, and the mysterious footprints leading into the woods. The most unsettling aspect was the conviction that the voice I heard belonged to Jake, and whoever it was knew my name. Contemplating whether to involve the police, we deliberated for half an hour before deciding to make the call. A police officer arrived, posed routine questions about stolen items or potential threats, and left after assuring us to contact them if anything unusual recurred. Despite the lingering fear, nothing else transpired after that night. The inexplicable events in the woods remained a perplexing mystery, refusing to yield any logical explanations. To this day, the mere thought of venturing into or near the woods past dark sends shivers down my spine, a lasting imprint of an unforgettable Christmas night. Christmas of 2017 unfolded with an unexpected twist, casting shadows on what was supposed to be a joyous celebration. At 19 years old, I, Alex, found myself entangled in a chilling tale that would forever alter the way I perceived the holiday season. Our family had gathered at our Uncle Richard's place for the holidays, departing from our usual Connecticut setting to embrace the warmth of downtown Miami. As Christmas Eve approached, my brother Jake and I, fueled by the energy of youth and the vibrant Miami atmosphere, decided to venture out into the city known for its lively nightlife. Excitement filled the air as we heard about various Christmas-themed parties taking place at clubs and bars. Jake, equipped with a fake ID, and I thought it would be a night to remember. Our journey led us to a club on Miami Beach hosting a Christmas-themed event. Despite the festive ambiance, our enthusiasm waned when we encountered an exorbitant entrance fee and a vigilant bouncer who exposed Jake's use of a fake ID. Undeterred, we sought an alternative venue and eventually gained entry to another club. Santa hats dotted the crowd, contributing to the holiday spirit. At the bar, an older woman in her mid-40s, wearing a blue Santa hat and a provocatively themed Christmas sweater, struck up a conversation with Jake. Her unusual fondness for younger guys with Hispanic accents raised my eyebrows, but Jake, perhaps flattered, immersed himself in the conversation. Leaving Jake to his newfound company, I decided to make friends with fellow patrons at the bar. However, my solace was interrupted when Jake patted me on the shoulder, announcing his departure with the mysterious woman. Supportive and curious, I wished him well and called an Uber, assuming he would spend the night with his newfound acquaintance. During the Uber ride, my phone rang with Jake's caller ID. Static filled the line, and I overheard unfamiliar male voices in the background. Suddenly, the call disconnected, leaving me with a sense of foreboding. Concerned, I attempted to call Jake multiple times, but to no avail. Finally, a call came through, but it wasn't Jake on the other end. An older man with a deep voice claimed to have found Jake's phone on the sidewalk. Desperate for answers, I asked the stranger to drop the phone off at Uncle Richard's place or meet me somewhere. The request was met with silence, replaced by distant talking and sudden screams. It was Jake's voice, crying out for help. The connection abruptly terminated, plunging me into a state of panic. Distraught and fearing the worst, I instructed the Uber driver to pull over. Alone in the dark, I dialed every family member's number, desperately attempting to share the alarming situation. With no one answering, the Uber driver urged me to contact the police immediately. Law enforcement arrived at Uncle Richard's place, where I roused my family from their holiday slumber, informing them of Jake's perilous situation. Desperation led me to provide a detailed description of the woman from the bar and the approximate time Jake left the establishment. My father, accompanied by the police, and I revisited the bar, hoping to unravel the mystery. Amidst the chaos, a random number illuminated my phone screen. It was Jake, gasping for breath, explaining that he had narrowly escaped a kidnapping. Using a stranger's phone, he shared the harrowing details of the trap set in motion after leaving the bar with the woman who claimed to have ordered an Uber. The pickup point, concealed in a desolate back alley, revealed the malicious intent behind the seemingly innocent ride. Two assailants in the car subdued Jake, threatening him with violence if he made a sound. As the car traversed the streets, one of the men dialed my number, intensifying the threats. In a daring move, Jake screamed for help, resulting in the visible aftermath of a bloody face and black eyes. When the car finally stopped and Jake was no longer restrained, he seized the opportunity to escape. The assailants sped away, leaving him battered and robbed on a dimly lit street in North Miami. Although shaken and traumatized, Jake's escape marked a triumphant victory over the sinister plot. Despite extensive efforts, the police failed to identify the woman from the bar, and none of the assailants wore masks, leaving Jake to contemplate the lingering threat to his life. The holiday weekend, initially intended for joyous celebrations, had morphed into a nightmare, overshadowing the festivities with fear and uncertainty. On Christmas night, the echoes of Jake's screams pierced the tranquility, disrupting the peaceful slumber of our family. His frantic exclamations of "She's in the house" revived the haunting memory of the mysterious woman from the bar and compelled me to face a sleepless night, vigilantly guarding against an unseen menace.